When she keeps herself so busy, I worry that she's going to burn out.
I usually remind her, Patricia, but if you feel tired, just take a nap. But she don't listen.
She's trying to stay busy, a little bit too busy sometimes.
She's not giving herself enough rest.
But you know why she does that?
Yes, I know why she does that.
And why?
She doesn't want to worry us.
I'm very afraid to slow down because I feel like if I slow down, then I don't know if that's going to be it. I have it, and how am I going to have it? I'm going to fight it. I feel like I'm getting married. For the past 5 years, I have been putting on the mini gala, just a way to raise money, raise awareness, but do it in a fun way. So we just gotta make sure we keep those separate from these ones. My brother is the sweetest. He basically will do anything that I ask him to do, and he's helping me carry everything so I don't get sweaty, and he's gonna help out at the event. Mini Gala. Make sure you go and get those raffle tickets. And while you're there, check out those researchers that are there. They're the ones that we are raising money for so that we can find a cure to end MS. When you tell people that you have MS, they think of sort of the worst case scenario because that is all they know, if anything. When I was diagnosed at 23, I didn't know what else to do. I need to feel like I'm doing something, and to me, I guess doing something is helping people. It always has been. If you don't want to come back next year, keep donating and keep helping us end MS. Thank you so much for coming out. Around Christmas time in 2012, my left eye started to blur.
She didn't want to tell us, but I think so she started losing completely the eyesight.
I think my dad was the one that, finally convinced her, okay, we have to go to the hospital.
We went to the emergency. We spent like whole night there.
Was told to come back the next day to see an emergency eye specialist. He diagnosed my eye as having optic neuritis, which is often one of the first symptoms of multiple sclerosis.
My heart almost stopped because I know that's what kind of disease it is, right?
It's called multiple sclerosis, which is commonly known as MS. This is a disease that is a chronic inflammation that affects the parts of the brain, the spinal cord, and the optic nerves, which are the nerves to the eyes.
Your body, for whatever reason, attacks itself. So it attacks sort of like the cover of your nerve cells in your brain. So it's not unlike when you have a power cord, then the signal that's going through that cord is either interrupted or it's not as strong. You might lose a certain function for a certain period of time or permanently, depending on how severe it is. As of right now, there is no known cause or cure for the disease. Once you have MS forever. When you have this idea of who you want to be and you've worked so long to be that person, and it's literally all of a sudden it's gone with 2 letters. All I knew about MS was the MS bike tour. I could still ride a bike, and so I made the promise that I would ride it until I couldn't anymore.
Happy Gilmore, join her
So I had to figure out exactly what I needed to be able to do that ride. But that wasn't the thing that scared me the most. It was actually sharing my story and telling people why I was doing the ride. If I said the words to people that like I have MS, and if I panicked and if I fell apart, then it was somehow more real. So I avoided it for quite a few weeks. What I could have done is just gone to people that I knew and said, "Can you sponsor me?" You know, and that would have been that. And I had to sit there and think, you know, people need to know why I'm doing this and why them sponsoring me is going to be so important. And yeah, the response to that was like insane.
She quickly became an important member and a huge advocate of the MS community.
Let's welcome up Patricia Jahufka.
This is the way that I fight MS, and I can see all of you guys are out here for the same reason, and it makes me super emotional to see this crowd every single time.
In the face of her own diagnosis, she responded in a way that I can't categorize as anything but exceptional.
I had to look at MS and literally just tell it that you messed with the wrong girl. So today is Burgers to Beat MS Day. So not only is it funds raised for the MS Society for research and to help people living with MS, but it's also something that raises awareness.
People who live with multiple sclerosis are exceptional in what they're able to cope with and what they're able to deal with. And she's an exceptional example of these exceptional people.
I set a goal to hit $70,000, and I did that this year, so I'm super excited.
Oh, I can't even keep up with her. She's such a busy person. I think that is what fuels her. I think that's what gives her the tools to fight her MS.
Patricia is a role model for everybody out there that's struggling with MS.
She just pushed herself, and she's strong. And like I say, she's my hero. But you never know what the next day will bring to you.
My mom is so kind and loving, but she also worries a lot. Oh, that was a lot harder than yesterday. Yeah. All right, there we go. And I think that's why a lot of the times I just have to make it seem like everything's okay.
Some of my patients with MS, you'll look at them and they will look entirely normal. And what they will experience will be more of the fatigue, which can be really debilitating. They can have pain, and then they can have mood issues with anxiety and depression.
I'm always tired, doesn't matter what I do. It'll hit you at different times of the day where you can be totally fine, and all of a sudden you just crash. And yeah, like some days, like I'm just so tired that just pushing myself to get ready makes me nauseous. Most of the time, people only know that someone has MS when it becomes visible. It makes it difficult to explain it, and it makes it difficult for people to believe you, even. Around the time of year where I got my MRI last year, which is around the same time that I'm getting it this year, it was a really stressful time in my life, and it just had to do with the end of a relationship and the fallout of it and everything that kind of comes with that.
I was worried about Patricia. She had an MRI in 2018 that showed quite a bit of what we call new lesion burden, or a number of new spots on her MRI. I talked to her very seriously about starting on what we call disease-modifying therapies to try to stop new attacks from happening and then help to prevent disability later on in life. That was not the right choice for her at that point in her life. I respect that choice, and she has elected to go another direction right now.
Oh my gosh, can I say that she's bullheaded? spin workouts helps her fight that fatigue. It's that physiological effect that you get after the workout that helps you kind of move forward.
If I don't work out, is it gonna make a big difference? No one can actually tell me that. It's just something that I can feel it. Like I can feel that exercise helps me. In my mind, if I'm going to spin, I'm fighting MS. So usually in the morning, I wake up and I open Twitter, see what's going on in the world. And today I saw a story that made me cry, like really, really happy tears. A study came out that confirmed that there is evidence that exercise can, in fact, promote repair of MS lesions. I felt a huge sense of satisfaction because it confirmed that all I am doing to fight MS is not hurting me. Thank you for supporting all my crazy bike tours and all of my fundraisers and everything, because really, like, this is just showing exactly that we just need to keep going because they're gonna figure it out.
My job here today is to moderate this session with these three lovely people who are representing patients with MS. And these are the people that we need and wish to partner with in order to really conquer this disease and be effective in trying to treat it.
You know, if exercise and physio and things like that if we can show that that's beneficial for people living with MS, then maybe these things will be covered on a larger scale.
Good. So thank you again all for coming out.
There's a lot of people, I think, that draw comfort and strength from her journey. And she certainly makes a point of making herself available to people who are, you know, going through a similar thing.
Then when you talked about exercise, I was like, you go, girl.
Yeah.
I love you for saying that.
You know, she's always going to say yes to things. Advocacy, fundraising, attending events, giving back. You're always fighting because there's somebody else that's struggling. It's a big weight.
2, 3.
If you give yourself enough time to sort of stop, you know, the worry is that fatigue will set in, and then, you know, it's a slippery slope. To avoid that, you know, there's probably an element of her that is just going to keep going, right, until, yeah, it's just going to keep going.
I've been going basically every day. When you're constantly having to almost fight the same fight, it gets old sometimes, especially when your head hurts for 5 days. It's tough to sometimes not get into that spiral of, you know, feeling scared and wondering, like, how long is this gonna last? It does kind of start to wear on you, and not being a person that's really good with letting people in. I would rather just sort of deal with it on my own than say something that I don't mean because I'm in pain or because I'm scared. Not everyone that has MS has an MRI every year. That's just sort of how I've worked it out with my neurologist to be able to monitor to keep up what's going on.
Hi, Patricia. How are you? Good. So my name is Boris. Nice to meet you. I will be doing your scan, okay?
When you're in an MRI, especially on your brain, you can't move or else they don't get a good picture. And I have to be in them for a long time. The whole experience of it is just stressful.
Books are better and better.
Anybody else want any more?
I'll get some more after.
Absolutely.
We have more ushka.
Because it's a.
I know she's got her consultation coming up. Yes, I'm worried, but I'm trying to imagine a scenario where it goes well.
My biggest fear is, I don't know, it's very hard. I don't even want to think because it's very scary.
I'm afraid of the MRI results because I don't think that they're going to be better than last year. It's just going to open up the conversations about medication again, because if things aren't getting better, that's usually what happens. At least right now, it's my normal. Like, I can do it. I know I can do it. I do it every day. And then if I go on medication, then it's somehow admitting that what I was doing wasn't working well enough.
Hey. How are you?
I'm not too bad. How are you?
I'm all right. All right. You sound like you're doing better than when we talked a year ago.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I was anxious last year.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of change compared to last year. This year there is one new spot that lights up with the contrast dye.
Okay.
That's small. But a number of the spots that you had last year have kind of shrunk in size a little bit to look better.
Okay. This whole year, I have been super, super consistent with exercise. So I don't know if that's, a huge
It's hard
difference.
to know.
But
Well, it is. You do have less inflammation going on this MRI. So, I mean, if I had my dream, I would still want to try something for you, like one of the newer immunotherapies, just because you know my bias and you're a young person and you look good, and I want to try and keep you as well as possible. Although I can't deny that this looks better than it did a year ago.
Okay.
Just with what you've been doing.
Okay, thank you. Relieved, actually. Really relieved. The MRI results are in, and I have some decisions I have to make, but there's a lot better results than last year, so I think that's a really big positive, and so I really want to tell my parents in person because I think they will be excited. Hi, Gru. Hi. Come here. Okay, so last year I had 4 spots active and 1 on my spine. And this year they're all not active anymore. But there's 1 new one, but it's small. Anyways, it's good.
It's good?
Yeah, she said from the time that she saw me last year, it was a year, right? And she said that I seem a lot better.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's good.
At least that's good. But it's not worse.
No, it's not worse. Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah, it's not worse. It's not worse.
My family were tremendously hopeful, not only that she will continue to be able to have the life that she's currently leading, but that there will be more and more effective treatments. There's also a little part of me that realizes that maybe things won't go in that direction, and in which case we're ready for that too. She's got us. There's no question.
I'm always so curious about how other people deal with MS. This awesome woman, she created this image of my latest MRI. It was really cool because she actually has MS, and I kind of connected with her on that level.
totally nailed this. Just the colors and the brightness and making it seem like something so much less scary. It's symbolic of the fact that I have taken having MS and tried to turn it into something positive and something beautiful. I really love who I'm becoming because I don't necessarily think I'm done yet. My fight is working, but I just need to keep going with it and keep fighting, and it'll be worth it.